We're on the record.
Very good. Actually, good afternoon. Sorry for the delay today. We've had a really ugly morning, so I appreciate your patience out there. This is case D 19-582-597-D. Heather Alana Molock. Is that you, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Versus Jerry David Molock.
Good morning, Holly Fick, line number 7699 for Mr. Molock, who is present with me.
Okay. This is the court's case management conference, as well as Heather's motion and Jerry's opposition and counter motion. We have an 11-year marriage that's produced one minor child, Morgan, who's 9 years old. Is that right?
Correct.
Mom's got one other child, and Dad who's a teenager, 15, I believe, and Dad has 3 other children.
17.
Yes. Okay. And Mom's filed we're going to go off the amended complaint, or no?
Yes, amended complaint.
Amended complaint for
Yes.
divorce, okay. And Dad's filed an answer and counterclaim.
Yes.
Mom's filed a motion, a motion, exhibits. Dad's filed an answer and counterclaim, an opposition and counter motion. Dad's filed exhibits. Dad's filed a certificate of completion for the seminar for separating parents. So has Mom. She's done that too. And Dad's filed a financial disclosure form. Mom's filed a reply. Mom's filed exhibits. So those are the documents that the court has reviewed. The court has subject matter jurisdiction over this case, personal jurisdiction over the parties, and child custody subject matter jurisdiction over the children. Besides joint legal custody with which the parties have agreed, have the parties agreed to anything else?
No, yeah.
No? Okay. All right, you can go ahead and be seated.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. Mom's asked for primary physical custody, and she claims based on what the status quo is, with Dad having every other weekend and then Tuesdays and Thursdays from after school until, what was it, 7:30 I think it is. And, sir, has that been what the temporary timeshare has been?
It has. I've requested more time to spend with him and been denied it. So.
And Your Honor, he's had Tuesdays and Thursday evenings as well as alternating weekends, and that's why he's retained my services to get more time.
Okay, so he's got Tuesday and Thursday from, it's like
2:15 to like 7:30. Then he does alternating weekends, Friday at 2:15, this Sunday at 5 p.m., and then Monday through Friday at about 6:30 a.m.
Okay, wait a minute. Say that again. I got the Tuesday and Thursday, 2:15 to 7:30, and
then
alternate Friday.
Friday at 2:15 to Sunday at 5, and then he is dropped off Monday through Friday at 6:30 in the morning and taken to school at 7:30, and then Mr. Molock's mother picks the child up at school at 2:15. Because they both have similar work hours. Mom works from Monday through Friday at 7:45 to 4:45. He works Monday through Friday at 7 to 5. So they do rely on help for childcare. Mostly his mom helps out.
Okay. And if Dad were going to have more time now, what would it be?
Okay.
I know he wants joint physical custody, and
So here's what we're proposing. Your Honor, I know
whatever happens today is going to be a temporary order without prejudice.
and I understand that, Your Honor. And we're concerned, I just filed supplemental exhibits, and I don't know if you had a chance to look at it.
No.
Exhibit C, it's his 10-year-old daughter who lives with him full-time and has lived with the parties, Aubrey. She's being seen by a therapist, and the therapist did a letter, and Morgan's 9, this is the subject of this divorce. Aubrey at 10 years old is still wetting the bed, has anxiety, depression, and fear, and it's because she's fearful of her stepmom. So there's concerns that we may even amend to request primary physical custody as this discovery goes forward, but at this point, we feel at least temporarily it should be joint physical custody, and we would ask for, he's 9 years old, we would ask for a 1 week on, 1 week off. Because, and it's very concerning about the therapist's letter, that this 10-year-old has to go through therapy, and that letter does state that she's fearful of her mom. And like I said, there are allegations regarding her daughter.
I'm sorry, I'm very confused. Aubrey is whose child?
His child.
That's what I thought. So
10-year-old.
why should somehow that affect?
No, Aubrey, during their relationship, because they've been married for 11 years, is now seeing a therapist because she's fearful of her mom, her stepmom, because of issues relating to her, and as a 10-year-old, and we're worried about the 9-year-old being in the home.
Can I object to that for a second? Morgan had to go to therapy as well. I submitted
documentation in my reply that March 14th, which would have been our 11-year anniversary, Morgan said that he wanted to kill himself and I had to get him into therapy because Jerry was asking him to go into court and that he was going to bring him in this courtroom. And Morgan was bawling to me over the fact of having to come into a courtroom.
And we deny that occurred. He's not discussing court issues. But there's concern, so this is why I think it would be fair to give them each a week until we get to trial, because she's pursuing primary, and they still have to go to family mediation too as well. Potentially they can work out a parenting agreement, but I think it's only fair. But there are concerns that with this letter and this therapist, this 10-year-old child who's been in this they've been married 11 years, and so Aubrey's, been in this relationship, and she's still wetting the bed, and she's fearful
Well,
of her
that's,
stepmom.
you know what, that's a concerning, but I'm kind of reluctant to make custodial decisions in this case concerning a child who's not a party to these proceedings, especially when mom isn't able to participate in whatever that therapy is.
Mhm.
So it's really going to be one-sided,
Mhm.
at least for now.
But it's concerning in the fact too is that we're going to bring witness testimony too is with her own child, her oldest, who's just turned 16. She's been physically aggressive with her. So we just want to make sure.
I'm not saying it's not going to be relevant or should be
Right.
excluded. I'm just saying right off the top of my head, I'm
Right.
not inclined to do
Right.
where I don't, because it's so one-sided.
Right.
You know what
Well, and I mean, they were all living together at his parents' house, and they just separated in December.
November.
And
That was going to be your next question. How long has this temporary timeshare been going on?
Since December 7th when I moved out. Mr. Molock informed me that he wanted a divorce October 11th.
November 7th, Your Honor.
It was October 11th.
All right, well, hang on. Let's have both of you stand up, raise your right hand, be sworn in.
You and each of you do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this afternoon shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Okay. All right, tell me, okay, you separated December 7th.
That's
Yes,
when I
of
moved
2008?
into my own apartment.
Okay. Of 2018.
Correct.
Okay. And how did the timeshare come about?
That was something previous that Mr. Molock and I, before moving out, had agreed upon.
Okay. Let me ask you, sir, do you agree with that?
Beginning, yes, we did sit down and agree on a payment plan.
You agreed on a what?
Or
You said
time.
payment plan? The timeshare? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Look.
And Your Honor, in the beginning, they were having discussions. If you'll notice, her first complaint that she filed was for joint legal and joint physical.
Mhm.
And when she came to the part, so that's what they were discussing, is having that. And then what happens is when he tried to file and didn't get there, and she tried to default him. And by the time of the prove-up hearing, I think that occurred before you, she'd asked for primary, and that's why you kicked it. And then that's why she filed the amended complaint and asked for primary. So at one time, there were discussions, and they were trying to work things out, but they were in the direction of doing a joint physical custodial timeshare.
Okay. I'm not excluding that. I'm just, what I want to do is just put a temporary Band-Aid on things right now while they go to mediation. And this is something they both acknowledged that they talked about prior to separating. So this could be the temporary timeshare. This is not the permanent timeshare, all right? This is only a temporary Band-Aid, okay? Between now and when we come back in about, 5 or 6 weeks?
It'll be May 23rd at 11.
May 23rd at 11, when you come back from mediation, okay? And then we see where we go from there. All right? So the law presumes that joint legal custody is in the children's best interest, and the two of you have agreed to that. The law prefers that the court find that joint physical custody is in the children's best interest. So again, this is only a temporary Band-Aid based on what the parties had agreed to prior to separating. This is not your permanent timeshare by any means. That's permanent timeshare waits until the court well, if the parties don't reach an agreement, then the court's going to have an evidentiary hearing, and you need to both prove up your side, and the court will go through the best interest factors, and the best interest factors do weigh heavily toward joint legal or joint physical custody too. That's the way that they come out these days. I want both parties to attend no, they both done that, seminar for separating parents. Court's gonna invoke EDCR 5.301. The marshal will give you both that information. Counsel, I'm gonna have you do the order, thank
Okay.
you. And, if you don't mind, and, I'd like you to put the whole language of EDCR 5.301 in it, which is, it's language that says that nobody's to discuss these proceedings with the children. You're adults, you're to protect, you're the parents, it's your job to protect your children. Okay, so you're to protect your children from the animosity the two of you have against each other, okay? So you're gonna spare them the drama of these proceedings, okay? So they're not to know about it. You're not to leave papers around where they can accidentally run across the papers and read them. You're not to allow anybody else to discuss this with the children either. So it's not gonna be an offense to say, well, I didn't tell them that was my best friend. Or that the children overheard you talking on the phone. You need to be careful with what you're saying when you're in earshot of the children, okay? Because they should be protected. Let me see, child support, dad's income is 3,857, times 18% is 694. I'm gonna have some deviation downward, let you both say, because of the timeshare, it's,
Your Honor, because I
It's
don't almost say,
shared.
can we say it's shared? Because the thing is, he's doing Monday through Friday, so I'm gonna put in the order, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 7:30. And then mom, so he's picking up, technically, his mom is picking up the child from school, so probably has him for,
and let me ask you,
long-
ma'am, do you agree that this is a temporary child? It was following along with what you would put in your paperwork and stuff.
Correct.
Okay, so
Okay,
it is. All right.
so Monday through Friday, he has 6:30, 7:30, and then he's gonna have after school pickup 2:15 until she's off from work, which is about 4:45, 5, correct?
I get home from work with traffic about 5:30.
5:30, okay, so we've got Monday through Friday from 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning, then 2:15 to 5:30, then Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2:15 to 7:30, and then alternating weekends, Friday at 2:15 to Sunday at 5. I would think that reaches the 40%.
Actually, I think it's 211, isn't it? 211.
Oh, it's 2:11, I forgot 2:11, okay, 2:11, yes, 2:11, so I would say.
Okay, so, no, the court will look at it as a shared arrangement. What do you feel is appropriate for? The court can deviate child support down because of the timeshare. I see that this doesn't reach joint physical custody, but it's a shared arrangement, so, counsel, how much are you asking for?
Well, and the other thing is he's paying child support for 2 other children, in the amount of about $256. So that needs to be taken into account as well.
Okay, so what are you asking for?
400?
Do you agree with that amount?
Will alimony be considered in that as well?
Yeah, how much are you asking for alimony?
400.
And Your Honor, they usually in the past, she has been the breadwinner at times. We're talking about a differential of gross $890 between the two.
He makes $450 an hour more than I do.
It's $890 per their financial disclosure forms. That's the differential between the gross monthly incomes, $890.
All right, you know what, I'm gonna take that part under submission because I do need to take a look at the actual numbers. I didn't have an opportunity to do that.
And just to note, her reply says her net income is $1,600, which is much different from what she reported on her financial disclosure form, which is under sign under the penalty of perjury. It's $2,500 that she
I'm
has
sorry,
to
what
know.
did you just say?
In her reply, she
Yeah.
said her net income is $1,600, but if you look at her FBF, when you do her gross income minus her deductions, she's got $2,500 net income.
Yeah, well, we have pay stubs attached here. I go by pay stubs,
Yes,
so
thank
I'm
you.
gonna figure it out based
Okay,
on the pay
thank you.
stubs. I also see that mom's providing the health insurance for both, everybody, right?
Yes, all 5.
Okay, so I'll take that into consideration, so, I was asking for 400, all right, so 694, Dad wants it to go down to 400, so that would be $294 deviation. This is your opportunity for input on that request.
I feel that it should be more because I was forced into a situation to have to move here when I didn't really want to, and it's far more expensive to live in Las Vegas. And unfortunately, I am paying high rent at this time because I didn't have a choice of anywhere else to live at the point.
Okay, well, these things have to do with all those arguments you gave. Those are good alimony arguments, okay? They're not good arguments for child support. I'm limited to the deviation factors. One of those deviation factors is the legal obligation to support others, and he has to pay to support the other two children. All right, so that is a, and then the relative timeshare, and this is a, it's a shared custodial arrangement. So that's another thing that the court looks at. Okay, I'm limited to the deviation factors. Pretty much anything else, it's whatever the list of issues are, or a list of factors in the statute, plus anything else you can think of. But except for child support, it's limited, although that's changing soon.
And just to let you know, he's got 3. So he's paying child support for the 2 oldest, but he's got Aubrey full-time with him, so he's got 3.
Okay. Oh, so the 256 only goes to 2.
2, yeah, he's got, that the 256 is for a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old, and Aubrey, the 10-year-old, is living full-time with him, so he's got 3 children at home. Plus, and then Morgan's the 4th.
Okay. And you haven't given me a number.
I would say 500.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go with the $500, and this is why. If I take the whole 256 for the other two children, I also take off $100 for the other one, and I remove that from his income before I calculate child support. We're still at $582 a month. So that also gives some leeway for the timeshare. So I'm going to do, so the child support will be $500, and that will be commencing April this month. And that will be temporary without prejudice, as we wade through here all of the, what the ultimate timeshare is going to be, as well as what the parties' incomes are after discovery and whatnot. And mom is providing the health insurance too for the children, so that will
We
be
did ask for a
deviation up.
breakdown and itemized, but we haven't gotten it.
Pardon me?
We put in our opposition that she needed to provide a breakdown, and she hasn't shown the
Okay,
document.
we need to
I
do
have
that. It's,
I have that and can submit that to the
she
court
said it was
today.
$87.50, I believe, for each
Per person.
per person. So you're going to need to provide information that verifies that. So the court's taken that into consideration as well. So we're going to do the 500. The insurance, mom's providing. Deviation is built into the child support amount. Any uncovered health care expenses will equally divided pursuant to the 30-30 day rule. Court's going to take under submission the request for temporary spousal support in the amount of $400. I just want to kind of run the numbers. We're going to continue the case management conference to the return from mediation. Want the parties to exchange their preliminary disclosures pursuant to NRCP 16.2 by May 10th. The marshal, ma'am, is going to give you a list of the kinds of things you need to exchange. You do not file it with the court. You just provide a copy to counsel, okay? All right. So, counsel, if you could please get the order done by April 22nd. Ma'am, do you want to sign off on the order? Or do you want counsel to submit it directly to the court?
Can you submit it directly to the court, please?
Okay, so she's waiving that, so if you could just
Okay.
get it by April 22nd, and if you could also please take the parties to mediation so they can sign up.
That's why, do they close down at lunch?
Do they?
I
I
know
don't know.
they sometimes close it, I know, I've never, yeah.
Give it a
I
go.
was thinking that, so.
Give it a go, see what happens, see if they're there. Ma'am, do you have any questions?
No,
No?
not at this time.
Okay, all right.
And just to say, I wanted to add to the order, she was asking for arrears and a wage withholding. Can I put that they are denied?
No, what you could say is that it's deferred.
Deferred.
What's that? Wait.
She was asking for arrears in her motion and a wage withholding. Also, she was asking for them to be referred to talking parents, but honestly, I don't think their communications are that bad.
Okay, Talking Parents now has a fee. It didn't used to. Now it's like, I think it's just
Oh.
shy of $5 a month. It's
Okay.
not very much,
I
but
mean,
do you want Talking Parents?
I do not.
You do not. Do you want Talking
I
Parents?
would prefer that
Okay, and how do you communicate now?
Text message.
via text message.
Okay, because Talking Parents is pretty similar. Is there any particular reason why you think that you need Talking Parents right now?
Just so that the court has easier access to those records.
Okay, the court doesn't review those records. Those records would be something that you would be downloading or whatever, and then you'd be bringing into court if that was the case, because we have hundreds and thousands of folks we can't sit on our Family Visitor Talking Parents or one of those programs that monitors people's conversations. We never get any work done or any sleep. So so if it's for that, it's not. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna defer that request. Okay, if the parties are struggling with that, then we may go with that.
I'll put that in the order.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll give you all a chance to just communicate with regular.
I'm just gonna give them this as to research.
Okay. Yeah. So you can take a look at it. Okay. If it becomes
Thank you.
a problem, though, then we
Come back.
will. If we start getting into arguments about I didn't get it and all that stuff. So.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you.